Monday. Here we go again. Take it from the top. Welcome to the SHAC Shack. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. My name is Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamp here in the UK, and we're going to have an hour relaxing, colouring in and doing some nice travelling gently through this morning. How does that sound? Hey? I haven't got my right glasses on. You'll notice also that the backdrop's a little bit different. Reason being, because I'm in the office today. I've decided to relocate the shack into the studio at Clarity Towers. So the team are on the other side of the door here, and I'm sure that it will be fine. I'm just a little bit ropey on this machinery, although it's similar to mine. And also, I forgot my other glasses, so I'm afraid I can't see a thing. That's all right. I can see the artwork, though. How is everybody? How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Was the weather lovely where you were? Come on in. I'm afraid I can't read a message. I can't read anything because I haven't got those glasses with me. Sorry. But I have got my postcard and I haven't got my polychromos. Oh, yeah. Nice cup of tea. Come on in and then we'll get started. I'm hoping that Paul is in the building with you. So he'll be, I know he's on the other side of this wall. It's funny being right next door. I'm hoping that the sound is good, Paul, and that he is there to help you if you have any questions, if you're looking for anything. And if you're just wondering what on earth this is all about, the shack started a couple of years ago during lockdown, straight away. And it was just a way for us all to stay together, stay safe, and keep each other company during lockdown. And because we enjoyed it so much, we carried on. And therefore, we still hang out together on a Monday at 10 o'clock, on a Thursday at 10 o'clock. Our Paul, he does groovy Tuesday. He does groovy Tuesday with you, doesn't he? Parchment. Sometimes Linda joins in. We're not going anywhere, are we, friends? We're not going anywhere. And so what we did do last week, we started with our colouring postcards. So do you remember, sometimes we doodle, sometimes we make our own designs, and sometimes we use the postcards. And I was thinking, because we haven't used these for so long, I was thinking we ought to get our postcards out. And we hadn't even touched on the third one, had we? So while everybody's getting comfortable and snuggling up, these were the ones that we've already done. You see, we've done the nuthatches, they're in set 1. We've done the birds, the cock-a-doodle-doos. We've done the mandarin ducks. See, they're all from set 1. Obviously, I like set 1. Done those ducks. Done the owls. These are just I've got more, I just don't know where it is. We did the garden birds, didn't we? The set 2. Did the eagles. So when I say set 1 and set 2, you see, so set 1, if you look, it's a whole row of beautiful postcards, colouring postcards, and they're proper postcards, see? So they're quite nice to do. They're nice to colour in. They're nice to doodle. And the cardstock is really good, so you can use watercolour, which we did. Look, they're the eagles. They were particularly good, weren't they? But then we used watercolour on our parakeets, which came out really nice. That was set 2. So we've actually done loads, haven't we? Toucans. Then we did that. These are all set 2. So it's about time we started on set 3, wasn't it? Look. God, we did do a lot. Right, and then set 3. So set 3 is more Christmassy. And I thought, because it's not really Christmas, a bit premature for Christmas, to be fair, I thought we'd use these beautiful birds. See the psychedelic birds? Because I thought, well, they're really spring, aren't they? When you look at them, what you'll see is, right, when you look at the birds on any of the artwork, the black line art is quite subtle. And the idea is that you can make the line art almost disappear, you see, like that. You can make it disappear into the artwork. It doesn't have to be so like there, see? Look at that owl, right? And you'll see the line art is so thin and fine that you can actually make it disappear. It's not cartoony, as one would say. Anyway, so what we're working on is that colouring one. Now, where did I put it? Here, there it is. I've already got mine ready to go. I was working on the roses a little bit yesterday and the daffs. I brought them out and I thought we could go back and have a look at those. So that's what I was thinking of doing. And I'm going to use my polychromos, you know. I thought that'd be nice. How are you? How are you doing? Are you enjoying your garden? Are you enjoying your crafting? Are you enjoying life? Are you struggling a little bit? I am. I'm struggling a little bit at the moment. But just for today, I should try to do the best I can and make the best day possible. And just for this hour, I'm going to park all that stuff that's rolling around in my head, and I'm just going to doodle and hang out with a couple of friends. So, have you got your tea or your coffee? Let's get started. Let's get started, and then we can chat while we're working, can't we? How's that sound? So have you got your pencils, and have you got your tea, and have you got your postcard? Or are you just hanging out because you fancy a little bit of company? Hey? See, I wrote on the back which colours I use, top tip, top tip. That always is a good idea, you know. So for the daffs, I used cream. I put them up this end to find them quickly. So I used a light, a medium, and a dark yellow. Right, that's cool. And then on this side, what did I use here? Oh, I really like that green. It's like a juniper. Where is it though? Oh, bro. Where'd you put it? Where did you put it? Don't tell me you've lost it. How about that one? Juniper green. There it is. 165. 165. You see, that's the thing. If you write it on the back, it's easy because then you're not going to make mistakes. You know, let's, for the sake of argument, look at all the different reds or all the different blues. Now, if I don't write down which red I've used, what chance have I got, really? So it's easier to just write it on the back. So those are the colours I've used. And then for the roses, I know I used that beige red that comes in that set of 12. And I used the medium flesh. Right, beige red and medium flesh. I know I did. So I thought we'd have a little look at that as well. Yeah, that's it. That's all the colours I've used for the time being. That'll work, won't it? So let me put my tea over here so we don't have a spillage. And I'll put my pencils over there. There we are. Got my colouring pencils. Got my sharpener. Got something to colour in. The thing is about this, it's like yoga for the mind. It just allows you to relax and not worry about everything else that we worry about, you know. It's like yesterday I went to Pottery, and just for those hours while I was at Pottery, I was really concentrating on what I was doing. And if you're that kind of person that thinks, but if it's not productive and it's not making something useful, then what's the point? Then we need to reframe that thinking. Because it's not just about making things to be useful. Trust me, you and I are very, very, very productive. We're always making useful things. We're making meals. We're making cards. We're making gifts. We're making quilts. We're making jumpers. We're making. We're makers. I make bowls. You know, I make cups. I make saucers. I make. I make a noise. I make a nuisance of myself. I make the bed. I make lots of things. I make friends. I make enemies. So I'm a maker. But the point is, we're always making, right? This is something different. This is something different. This is about making space in your head. Making making calm come in, you know. When I was at Pottery yesterday, I was making a little statue. Now that little statue, if he ever looks like he's supposed to, right, he's no use to man nor beast. I mean, he might make a doorstop if I need a function for him, right? He might make a doorstop. He might make a present for somebody who fancies a little spong man. No use to man nor beast. But I tell you what, as far as usefulness goes for my head, I went into that pottery studio with a headlight, a wasp's nest. It was going like that, zzz, right? Really, I considered not going. I was in such a bad space, yeah? And I got there. I didn't want to inflict that wasp's nest on everybody there. So I smiled and I dug in the corner, got my little thing. And all I could do, because I'd hurt my thumb, I thought, right, sculpture. So I made this weird little man, right? Started on this weird little man. By the time I left the pottery studio, I was at one with the world. So that little man, that little spong man that I'm making, right, I'll show you a picture later. All right, well, or let's wait until he's finished, shall we? I actually want to go back tonight. I've got the bug now, the sculpture bug. The point is that he really did help me. It made me calm. It made me happy. It made me stop panicking. You see? So was he useful? Blimmin' right he was. You see? And that's what the shack's about. Doesn't matter. We're not experts here. You know that. There are no experts in the building. It's not a competition. It's none of that. It's just the easiest way for us to hang out and keep each other company. What other way are we going to do it? You know, something to colour in with. Bingo. And that's what this is all about. So without further ado, let's have a look at and you know what? The other bonus is, of course, the lovely thing about this is, and the lovely thing about my little sculpture, the more you do it, the better you get. And the better you get, the more you want to do it. And that is healthy thinking. So let's take a piece of paper. Are you ready? And I'll give you a couple. Honestly, I am no artist, but I know how to colour in a leaf. And I'm happy to share that with you. Okay. And you probably colour in leaves better than I do, but that's okay too. Yeah. Now let's have a look. So I did 2 leaves and I thought, well, I know what I'll do. Let's get in closer, shall we? Let's get in closer. Because it's all about layers. Let's get in tighter. How's that? Is that close enough? What do I think? That's better, isn't it? Is that all right, Paul? Yeah, you can hear me through the wall. Is that all right, Paul? Right. So what we're using, a nice green. You can use any green you fancy. We're going to do the leaves, the greenery. Because when we worked on Thursday, what we did was we looked out, didn't we? Because it's quite a complex picture. We isolated the daffs and the roses, and we just really went lightly, just to recap. Do you remember? I mean, you can always look back on the YouTubes. We just went really lightly over the top of the area like that. So we knew what was a leaf, what was a background, what was a daff, what was a bird, what was a rose, what was a leaf, and so on. And then we used the medium colour, so that was with the cream. Then we used the next darker yellow just to get a bit of shadow going. I could go in again and again and again on those daffs. I may not even have finished. But let's start with a leaf. Let's just do a leaf now. So we're going to use that juniper. Flat. I'm just making a bit of a flat. You could, of course, and we do sell these, use sandpaper blocks. We've been down this road before. See, they've got sandpaper. And then look, I'll show you. it's not just one piece, there's another piece underneath. So when it gets really full, just pull that off. See, there's loads of them on there, look. That's what these are for, not for sharpening paper stumps. Well, I don't know. I don't think it works very well with paper stumps, just phrase them. But it works really beautifully for getting a point on your pencil or a chisel. Yeah. So sanding blocks, they're good for that. And what we're going to do, think of it like this. Should we just have a little lesson in how to shade a leaf? And this isn't the only way to shade a leaf. This is just the way I shade a leaf. Let me see if I can find a pencil. I haven't got a... It's all right. Needs must. So let's just draw a leaf here, like that. And then I'll put a... There we go. There's the stalk. Right, so we're just going to put a leaf in. I just want to show you shading. We've done this plenty of times, but we'll go again. And if I said to you, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, okay, dark, light, dark. Let's have a look, see if it works. We'll do it on scrap and we'll see if we can get that optical illusion really lightly. So this eye's light because the light's hitting it from there. So that's light. And then it's curled. So inside there, it gets darker, see? But as it comes out to the light, as it folds out the leaf, right, it gets lighter. So it's, if I was to turn this around now, right, it's darker as it goes into the valley, see? And then out here, see there, it's lighter because here's the light here. So that now, just to show you the shading, it's dark in there. Let's turn it round and have a look and you'll see what I mean. Right, so that's dark in there, right? And then this hits the light. So the light hits that and the light hits this bit. So this bit's light. And then this, it curls round here. So now this is going to be dark again. So that's all I have to remember. And I say to myself always, before I start colouring in a leaf, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. I have to decide where the light's hitting. There you go. Tips and tricks. And I'm sure there are lots of different ways to do this, but this is a good starting place. There, see? And now that's dark and that's dark. Because normally you'd be tempted to go light, light, and then do both sides like that, wouldn't you? Because you think it goes in like that. You see what I mean? You'd be tempted to put dark in there as well, wouldn't you? And we will put a little bit of colour in there, but the depth of colour goes there and in there, okay? Like that. Does that make sense? Good. So what we'll do is we'll put an undercover. Have you got a boring beige? Have you got one of those then? Boring beige. I shouldn't call it that. Warm grey 2. Yeah? Let's do warm grey 2 and let's just get warm grey 2 on the leaf like that. Let's just do it. Have you done your leaf already? Draw one on a bit of paper. There you go. If you haven't got all this gubbins here, go and find a piece of paper and just a lead pencil, an HB pencil. I wonder where my lead pencil is. I may have forgotten it back at base. It's all right, I'll have it by Thursday. I'll make a little list. Don't sweat the small stuff. I can cope without a pencil. Right, just get a pencil, draw or a biro or whatever, and just practice what we're talking about here. This shading, right? You'll be impressed. It really does work. Okay, so it's a layering thing. Right, now let's have a look. So we're going to put down a light layer of the warm grey, just so it's a base. That'll do. And then let's take our juniper or whatever green you fancy, and we're going to go light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. Yeah? So we're going to light, dark. Right, let's get some dark in there so we know what we're doing. There we go. Thank you, Paul. Look, I've got an assistant. Right, so we've got light, dark, light, dark. So there's that one. And then we're going to go light and then dark on this edge here. So I'll turn it round. Can you see what I'm doing all right? I thought it would be nice to try a leaf. Here we go. And the veins, you can always add a little bit of depth up there as well. There you go. They're already drawn in for you. But you'll see, look, depth round there. You can always flick up through the vein. That's it. And then depth in there, and you can flick up through the vein as well. There you are. And you'll see, can you see that all right? Am I close enough for you? There you go. There. And if you want a bit of texture, just find the sharper side of the pencil. You can use the flat side and it's soft, isn't it? But where there's a soft side, there'll be a sharp side. You just got to turn the pencil round and find the point. You don't always have to keep sharpening the pencils. There we go. A little bit of depth in there. A bit of shadow behind the bird. And you know, that's the thing with these polychromos as well, and the pergoliners. When you use these pencils, if you don't like what you've done, or you think, oh no, it didn't quite work the way I had it planned, yeah, you just rub it out. Just take your, there you go. See? So that's that depth now, and then the depth inside there. Bit of depth around there, only because this is shadow more than anything, isn't it? So that's quite dark. And that's where the light's hitting it. You get it? It gives the leaf a form. Light, dark, light, dark. Let's take one of the yellows. Let's start with the creamy yellow now. And let's just run a little bit where the light is now. Let's add a bit of that yellow. There, look at that. So that creamy colour. Drop that into the area where you didn't put the green. Not working too hard. Here we go. So we could use blending nibs as well to blend the colours. But I think what we'll do is we'll do all that on Thursday. That's going to be our finishing tricks with the blending. Yeah. And what it does is it just pulls the colours in. Sometimes it's quite nice not to. There you go. There, you see? So you've got your leaf. It doesn't take long. What you've got to remember is light, dark, light, dark. It gives you a really good basis for colouring in. Try it the other way if you feel. Now let's have a look at these funny leaves. See this leaf here? I did one. I quite enjoyed doing this. What we're going to do now, they're more like succulents. Let's think of them as succulents, like bulbous. And then, of course, the light's going to hit a certain spot, isn't it? Should we try that now? Let's give that a go. Same colour, I think. I don't want to make this too bright or colourful. I think it's artier or prettier if it hasn't got a million other colours. So we've got we've got yellow tones, and we've got the peachy, pinky tone. Well, peachy more than pink, really, aren't they? Those roses. And then we've got the greens, the sort of juniper greens rather than a grassy green, you know. Jury's out on the birds. I'm going to ask you, because I was thinking about it yesterday, and I thought, I don't know what colour to do the birds. Have you got any ideas? What do you think? Should we camouflage them so you can hardly see them? Or should we make them really jump out? Come on. It's teamwork. Tell me what you think. I'd really like to know. I'd really like to know because the jury's out on my side. I think that's the lovely thing about the shack as well, is there's no boss. You know, I might be the one driving the bus, but I'm not the only one that's right. You know, I'm fully aware that there are lots of very, very talented, clever, creative people who join me. I don't see myself as the best in the group at all, not even a little bit, right? My job, as I see it, is just to make sure that we get together and we hang out together. And often it's just those creatives and just those very arty people who need this switch off and this rejigging. It's us more than a lot of others who need that distraction. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, I can see you nodding, and I know, and I already know at least a dozen of you who will be nodding back at me. I know, you know, and it's I know that there are a really talented group of people hanging out here, and so when I ask you what color do you think these birds should be, I'm not humoring you. I'm not trying to, you know, it's not what you think at all. It's not that. It's I genuinely need you to tell me what you think. Give us a clue. Give us a clue. Are we going bright orange? Are we going? I was lying in bed early this morning and I was thinking, do I want to go a sort of a lilac-y purpley colour, or will that really look ugly? Because I do still think of it as art, you know, even though it's also for clearing the head. So while we're doing our succulents, I love that word, don't you? It's a succulent. It's quite sexy. It's not, it's a plant. Let's do our succulents and let's have a look. So first things first, is that a succulent I see in the background? Right, there's another succulent. Oh, right, get that coloured in as well, grey. There you go. Not too much of one. But I'm going to use my warm grey too. It's quite sensual actually, isn't it, colouring in, when you look at the names. Right. So let's do that. Let's get the warm grey in. It just breaks the white, doesn't it? Believe you me, when I say it's like birds of a feather or like-minded people, you know. I know. And I often, you say to me, you say, how is it? You say exactly what I need to hear. And it's like, whoa, because I am that person. I am you. I'm no different. I get you, you know. If you're full of fear, well, the chances are that you're not alone. I'm probably full of fear too. The difference is that I've got the microphone, I've got the platform, and I'm brave enough to say that I'm full of fear. And then you say, well, that's funny, so am I. But if you had the microphone, you'd be telling me you are. See, that's how it works. So, warm grey, it's better out than in, friends. It's better out than in. If you're feeling it, then talk to someone about it. Don't you be bundling it up inside you. If you got something on your mind, then get it out in the open. Honestly, it's better for you. Now, this time, what we're going to do this time, this is not a leaf like that. This is a succulent, right? So what we're going to do is, it's got light hitting it. You can see the lights, where the light part is, isn't it? Where the sun's shining on it, if you like. So what we're going to do now, it's dark in here, and then it's layered as well, because a succulent comes in layers. So we'll start by just putting down or laying down a little bit of green. Here we go. There you are. Because I don't think, now let me get in the picture. that you can have a 2-year isolation period as a society, right? This is only my opinion. And you know what, friends? Opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one. And I believe that you can't have a 2-year societal cut-off, like a complete isolation, lockdown, with all the ramifications, all the things that happened, you know. You can't go through that and then come out the other side and then say, cast your masks off. That's it. It's all over. Don't you worry. There's still a few people dying every day. Well, actually, it's more than just a few. But seriously, it's okay. You can go and buy your sausage rolls in Greggs without a mask now. You can get on the bus and don't worry about wearing a mask. It's not a problem anymore. And you think, really? Is that so? Is that so? Is that actually so? Or is that just... Because my head says, I'm not sure about that. I'm still digesting what happened. I'm still full of fear. You know, my dad still won't leave his house. He won't go out the front door. In fact, he won't even open the front door. And I think if my dad feels like that, I'm pretty certain that there are lots of other people that feel like that. And it doesn't matter if the government says, nah, it's all right, you can all come out now. It's fine. Go shopping. Bye, bye, bye. I think, yeah, whatever. I think you may have an ulterior motive, Boris. So, as I say, that's just my opinion. But I bet, knowing you as I do know you, that many of you will share that opinion. And just because I'm being told that I don't have to wear a mask in public, and I don't have to wear a mask on the train, and I don't have to wear a mask when I go to the supermarket, yada, 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 right? That doesn't mean I don't. That doesn't mean I'm not allowed to, does it? Huh? Doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I don't still err on the cautious side. Are you the same as me, or is it just me? We went to a really fabulous place on Saturday. It was open air. That was a bit different, see? It was open air. It was at Glynde, near Glyndebourne, near Lewes. It was called the Pot Fest. Beautiful. It was a ceramics festival, the best in the business, the best potters in the country. It was an exhibition. It was a selling exhibition, and we'd got tickets because it travels around the country, this Pot Fest. See how I'm just moving around? I'm just moving around the edge. So let's just get in here. So layer after layer, little feathery strokes. You go like that, and then you feather away, see? So you can go circular like that, or you can do a line and then feather away from it. Then do a line, feather away from it. You can feather that way if you feel inclined. I'm hardly touching the paper. That's the thing. I'm hardly touching the paper. And if that's the line, like the edge, then as I get away from the edge, it's like I disappear. It's like that. Oh, up to nothingness. Like that, and then back to nothingness. And you just get lighter and lighter. So you press a bit harder down there, and then you take the pressure off. If you struggle with that, then take your pencil. Let me show you something. Take your pencil and use the flat of the pencil rather than the tip. The flatter the surface you look, see? Further up the shaft you go, and the flatter, the less pressure on the top. Further I travel down to the nib, the darker it's going to be. As I come up, I've got less, there's less pressure, isn't there? It's not limp, but you see, I'd have to really, it's weird, right? So that is how you make it light. And then just keep going over it. Do you get it? So use the side of the pencil if you want to. So I can, if you feel like that, see, I can hold it like that. Can you hold your pencil like that? Give it a go on a bit of paper, just to give it a go, just to try it. See? So if you feel like you want to get, see? But you don't want to, see, the other thing you could do, I mean, I don't think there's any such thing as cheating. It's just different ways to do it. What you could do is colour in your area and then take your eraser, your pink eraser, and then create a highlight, because you know you can lift the colour out again. So if you feel if you feel that's easier, I'm going to rise to the challenge though, and I'm going to get in here and see. So all I'm doing is I'm going round the outside gently, like that. Gently, gently, gently. Darker in the middle. It doesn't matter what we colour in as long as we hang out together, friends. But this is a great exercise. Here we go. It's a great exercise in shading, isn't it? Look, I've gone over the edge. Don't matter. Don't sweat the small stuff. Really not. Lots of people. Jane Telford suggests pink and orange. Make them jump out and pop is the main consensus. Okay. Okay. Jane says pink and orange. Well, Jane, you would, wouldn't you? Pink and orange. Let me think. So we want to make them jump, do we? Pink and orange. Do you mean this sort of pink, Jane? Or do you mean like your hair pink? I know your hair's not pink anymore, is it? I may have to practice on a piece of paper and then try it before I commit. Hey? Anyway, so yeah, where was I? We went to Glynde. What a fabulous place. Okay. And yeah, so there were all these really talented potters. Like proper amazing, right? And I wasn't in a good place when I got there. I'll be honest, right? I really wasn't. I'm just not at the moment. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of stuff. A lot of, just a lot of stuff going on. And a lot to think about, a lot to consider, and so I was thinking, being the workaholic that I am, I was thinking, well, if I've got a problem with work, then really the last thing I should be doing is wandering around a field looking at other people's pottery, which would just make me feel, oh, it's the wrong one, even more inadequate, because I'm not getting to the pottery very well, because I'm so busy trying to pedal it for clarity. So I'm not doing pottery and I'm not doing very well. And the last lot of pots that I threw were rubbish, and right? And in the meantime, there's all that going on in Ukraine, which really messes with my head. And yeah, and so on and so on. And we got there and I thought, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be here, right? I'd really rather be at home trying to work on the problem at hand. That's a workaholic. That is at his very best or very worst. When you can't be happy unless you're working. You can't feel any kind of relief unless you're working on the situation. That's just ridiculous, really. I know that, but that's my default position. So there I was thinking, God, I don't want to be here, but I don't want to appear ungrateful either. We went round the first marquee and the work was exquisite, like mind-blowing. And Dave was trying to pep me up a bit, and he was going, oh, isn't this lovely, and isn't this lovely, and isn't this... If you're a quilter, right, and you've got a bag of bits and you're not getting to it, imagine this, right? You're not getting to it. Your sewing machine's been out for a year. You actually haven't had any time to make anything. You've got all the bits cut out. You've spent all the money, but you're not getting to it. And then your husband takes you to a quilt show. And there are all these amazing, like Bayeux tapestry type quilts. And you've got a Marks and Spencer's carrier bag full of cut out bits that you haven't sewn together yet. That's how I felt. And we went round the first tent, and Dave was really he was all trying to motivate me. And I was stood back, with my mask on, trying to be polite. And then after the first tent, there's loads of tents, right? After the first marquee, I said to Dave, is it okay if we go and get a cup of tea? Because I didn't want to have I just didn't want to be there. I said, let's go and get a cup of tea and maybe, a croissant. And then we'll have another run at it, Dave, So we were standing in the queue for the tea, which was really long. They missed a trick with the refreshments, which makes me think at our Clarity Open days, we won't have queues like that for the teas and cake. I can tell you. That's one thing we do have sorted. I'll tell you about the open day. Anyway, and then who walks towards me with her sunglasses on? But my pottery teacher, who I love to bits, right? And she's walked towards me with her sunglasses on, and she stood in the queue with us. I said, hey, fancy seeing you here. She goes, and then she said exactly what I had just thought. She said, I don't want to be here. I feel completely overwhelmed. I don't know why I'm here. I'm seeing things that I just don't have time to make. And she's the teacher. She's the brilliant one. But she's in the same boat. She's trying to run a business. See? And we ended up hanging out. She said, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to speak to anybody. I said, well, you just came to me. She went, oh, no, you're different. Because she knows that I'm in the same boat, you see? Yes. Commonality. And it was so amazing. She and Dave and I, we ended up hanging out together the whole day. And the other thing was, every now and again, I'd say, well, go on, you go and do your thing and we'll go and do ours. Or she'd say, right, I must go. And then 10 minutes later, by this time, I was actually over myself and I was just looking at other people's beautiful work. And I'd got over myself and I was admiring their talent. It's like, not about me, it's about them. This is these people showing us their beautiful work. This is not about Barbara. Park yourself. You're not vital. Look at what they're doing. They've come from all over the country to show you their beautiful work, and the least you can do is respectfully look at it and smile. So I thought, yes, Barbara, get a grip. So anyway, so the pottery teacher went that way and I went that way. And then 10 minutes later, she'd go, I'd be looking at somebody's in particular that I really liked. Sure enough, turned around, there's Eunice. She said, I love that too. Isn't it wonderful? And we have the same taste. You can't like it all, can you? But we kept gravitating towards the same artists. Commonality. We get on, we have it in common. You see, there are things that we had the same taste in common. We've got the same business issues in common. We've got the same sense of inadequacy in common. It's very, very interesting. And yet I would look at her and I would think, she has got it. She's nailed it. She's like, brilliant, you see? And yet, when she speaks her truth, you realize, okay, so it's not just me. And that's so key, to say what you feel, to speak your truth. And I'm not saying moan and whinge. She's not a moaner, nor am I. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's better out than in. And if you're feeling feelings of negativity and fear or whatever they may be, right? And I'll get off my orange box in a minute and carry on drawing succulents. But what I'm saying is that it's really important to find someone that you trust, You know, I'm not saying go to the nearest bus stop and just tell anybody. Find somebody that you trust and you value, them, and talk to them. Tell them what's on your mind. Tell them how you feel. And don't be thinking, oh, it sounds ridiculous. Because the chances are that it won't sound ridiculous to them at all. And I found that at the weekend. It was quite amazing. It was quite astounding how somebody that just by being honest, just by speaking our truth, we suddenly realised that we're not alone. It's all right, It's all right to say it as it is. There you go. Look, succulents. They look nice. Which one am I working on here? There comes a point where you don't know. I think that was the one I'd already done, and this is the one we're working on. Is that right? Looks a bit rougher, this one. Probably because I'm gassing. I don't talk to many people. I honestly don't. I talk to you. I talk to Dave. I'm talking about talking, at any level of depth. But I always feel better for it. And the other thing is you've got to let other people talk as well. You've got to let them get it out of their system. Doesn't that look nice? What do you think? And breathe. Don't the roses look nice? There, that'll do for the succulents. Succulents are looking good. Purples and lilacs, purple and orange. Well, that's what we're doing on. What do we think? Let's have a look at the rose. This is Barbara playing for time. Let's just look at the rose and show you how to curl a petal. Okay, let's curl a petal. Yeah, see how they look curled over? It's all about the light. So on the leaf, this is my point. It's all about the light. On the leaf, we said light, dark, light, dark. And on the succulents, we said dance around the light. Dance around the light. So the light, because it makes it rounder. See? Dance around the light. And if you're not happy with where you put the light, you can always introduce it afterwards if you feel inclined. Now, with the roses, it comes in layers, right? It's so obvious now. That's why we do this one third. So this bit here, it layers out from the center, doesn't it? So this is dark, then this gets dark. Although I'm using the light fleshy color, this kind of, it's nice actually. It's a nice undercoat for the darker pink, right? So you go round there, round there, round there. Do you see? Round the bottom. There we go. Round the bottom like that, and then flick it up. Then flick up off the edge. But what you've got to do with this is make sure that you leave these bits white. Do you see how I've left? It's really key to leave lines. See, now here, for example, it must have been getting dark in the kitchen when I was working. So I've lost a little bit of the curl. It's not that I've lost the curl, I've lost where the light hits the rose. See, so I could go in there, see if I can bring it back a bit. Just get some of that. Yeah, see? Here, I've lost where the light hits. So I just have to bring it back. There you go. And straight away, I've got a bit more of a curl going. Do you see? And it's the same here. No, that white's perfect. There, it's right along there, look, like that. And along there. And up the top, see, the light's moved now because the curled bit's around the back. But let's say, and one thing I did notice is that it's easier. It's almost like picot cutting. Let me explain it like that. If I turn it round this way and I'm coming in from this side, right? Like that. There's a chance that I'll come over the edge. If I turn it this way and I'm coming away, I'm pulling away from the lines, I'll probably stay within the line art. I just noticed that yesterday, that it's easier, a lot easier, like here's a curl, get that dark in, right, and then bring it this way, see, like that. And you can get quite dark in there, because that's the curl, it's curling over. There you are. So who's coming to the open days then? Who's going to come and support Clarity at the open days? Anybody? I know it's a ways. Of course it is. It's near Maidstone, so it's pretty good on the motorways. And I think it's well worth the effort. It's quite something. I do hope that you come. I don't think there'll be as many as usual, but that's okay too. That's part of that whole safety thing, isn't it? Nice, spacious, it's a big room. So that'll be good. That'll be good. Yeah. See if you can't come. That's quite nice, isn't it? See? A bit of depth around there. It's all about the layers. Just get those layers in. Turn it round so you stay on the right side of the line. That's it. And then it's about layering the petals as well. So if that petal's behind that petal, give that a bit more. That's it. See? Then look. I think that petal's behind that petal. So we'll just add a bit more depth there. See? This one's definitely behind. So we'll put a bit more pink in there. I like this kind of pink though. What's your favourite colour rose? What's your favourite colour rose? My favourite, personally, I really like roses that are they're like ivory cream, and there's this really beautiful almost pink, light pink and ivory, but they have a really bright green that runs up the petals. Do you know the ones I mean? Really gorgeous. I like those. I like those a lot. They're really nice. You don't often see them, but they're they're my favourite roses. They're ivory with a kind of pink in them, and then they've got this really lime green, almost bright green that runs up through the veins. They're nice. Right. Oh, I've got another succulent there that I haven't done. Maybe I'll do that afterwards, but that'll build up the background. And then on Thursday when we get together, we'll do the birds, shall we? Shall we? Well, I will have done one. I will have had a practice, and I will have had a little think about what colour bird I fancy, so to speak. Yeah. So I'll give that a go. Yeah. That's what I'll do. And I'll single out some of the, I'll do a little bit more, and I'll do one of the birds in the colour of my choice, because they're definitely the same sort of bird. So once I've done one, then you can decide when you see mine, you go, no, I'm not doing that. And then what we can do is sharpen our pencils really, 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 right? And then we can, if we wanted to, we can learn how to get some really lovely vein work going. like some real lovely texture. Yeah, like that. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, we could do that right at the end. See, and it's these things that distract you. And you might not even like what you've done. I mean, my Spong man that I'm working on, jury's out on him. The reason he's called the Spong man is because he's this little statue that was found in Spong in Norfolk. So he's called the Spong man because he's like the oldest, like ceramics, pottery, is made out of clay. And he's actually the lid of like a cremation urn. Yeah, so he's not very happy. But I just loved the image of him. I'll have to blog him. I'll have to blog him for you. And I saw this little fella on a TV program. And I looked at his face, and he's 1700 years old. And whoever the artist was that sculpted him, he captured. I mean, obviously, it's a cremation, isn't it? So he's not going to be jubilant. But it was just his face and the way he was sitting there with his hands like that. And it just summed up exactly how I feel. And I thought, yeah, do you know what? I can't believe that 1700 years ago, somebody captured that emotion in clay. And it's like, it really packs a punch. I've got to show you. Let me see if I can. I'll find it in my photos. See if I can show you this little man. Here we go. You're going to go, oh, he's a bit dark. I'm going to show you anyway. Can you see him? Look, he's a little lid. He's only 35 centimetres tall. But do you see that face? Isn't that amazing? See, I mean, it's pretty raw, you know, but what it does for me, it gives me hope, because whoever made that 1700 years ago, he wasn't in a good space, clearly, was he? Hey? And we're still here. But what's amazing is that somebody could make something that small, and it releases exactly the same emotion in me as it would have done when the man made it. All those years later, we're still at our core, we're the same people that understand that face and that stance. Look, poor little bloke. Hey, I know. Shall I show you? Right, do you want to see where I'm at? I sent it to Grace. She went, bit dark, Mum. I said, oh no, I haven't done his mouth yet. Cut me some slack. Right, do you want to? It ain't over until it's over, all right? Don't. This isn't as easy as you think. Look, there's my fella. Look, there he is. See, I've got his hands ready. It's not as easy as you think, I'm telling you. Look, he's all right. 4 hours. 4 hours. 4 hours of playing with mud. And I went, that's actually pretty good, you know. 4 hours of playing with mud, and that's all I came up with. And I know you're thinking, well, what is it? I tell you what it is. It's not finished yet. That's what it is. And that's cheap therapy. That's what it is. It's cheap therapy. Very cheap therapy. No mind-altering substances there, just a bit of mud. That's why my nails need a bit of attention. Well, my friends, what else do I want to tell you about? Right, first of all, I've got to plug this open days. You've got to come. No excuses. Look, Friday the 10th of June, Saturday the 11th of June. Be there or be square, okay? That's the first thing. Make the effort. You won't regret it. Right. Now, the next thing I wanted to tell you. Okay. So I was talking about these you know, the bird shapes that Dave makes, the beautiful bird shapes. And we were talking about, let me put that camera on it. Look, isn't that fabulous? Look, I know. Glorious. So what we were talking about was about you splurging out so that we can make one in the shack together. So get a set of these things, the refills, I think we call these, don't we, Paul? Get a set of these, and then we can doodle them together in the shack. That would be brilliant, right? Then the other thing I wanted to shout about was the make art not war. This is not going away anytime soon, and so we're still driving sales for these poor souls as well. And therein lies the great leveler. Okay. Thing is, though, that doesn't mean that our problems aren't real. They're just not these problems. They're not as acute. They're not as devastating. But don't be thinking that your problems don't mean anything. They are your problems. To you, they are your problems. They are as big as they are to you. So never, I make that mistake sometimes because I think, oh, compared to these poor people, you know, I haven't got any problem. Well, actually, I have. They're just not these poor people's problems. I've got other problems. And I do right size them. Of course I do. I'm not mad. But what we're doing for these poor people in Ukraine is we're selling the stamps that Jim designed. And then we're sending all profits, anything, to the Red Cross. So they're on the website. That's on the website. That's great. So yeah, what did I want to tell you? I wanted to tell you about the so the bird blanks. That's for us. That's going to be for the shack. Nice. Look, and that bird there, that's actually decorated with the stamps. That's the Ukraine bird. Isn't that cool? See? And then what you do is you put the message inside. See, the message goes inside. So it's a card. It's just a bird card. Isn't that lovely? Thank you, Dave, for these. They're spectacular. But I thought it'd be nice if we could do those together. Okay, so that's that job. And then on Sunday, I'm back on telly. Well, one thing at a time. So tomorrow, Paul is with you in the Groovy Tuesday at 10 o'clock to keep you company. So that'll be lovely. And then on Thursday, it's us again with our birds, right? So we're going to do our birds. And then on Sunday, you'll recognise these stamps. These are the stamps that are going to be on the TV on Sunday. Make Heart Not War. Here we are. So these are cool. We doodled these together, didn't we? Look, there you go. It's the little one. It's the little one that I used for that card. All right. So that's the little one that comes as it comes. And then the big one is deconstructed. Very arty. So they're on the website as well. And then other than that, we're good to go. So on Sunday, I'll be on from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock on the new Create and Craft. I hope that you like the stamps that we're bringing you. That's one set from the shack. So we're represented there too. And other than that, I think I've enjoyed our little session. I'm going to go and do my Spong Man tonight, I've decided. He's so unfinished. But that's it, you see. Whatever you do something. Whatever you make something. Even if it's making a noise or making somebody happy, just do something. You know, get out of your head and stay with your hands. Thanks, Paul, for your help. Lots of love to all of you. And I shall see you on Thursday. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. I can't see a thing here, you know.